What's up, guys? Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. I'm Namco, sitting here with Dustin. Baseball season's right around the corner. In this show, we're going to go on our third baseman tiers and rankings. But before we get into that, March Madness is even closer to around the corner, and we're going to be running brackets on our page this year. So feel free to log in, sign up, invite your friends. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to take it home as I always do. All right, Dustin, let's start us off with the third baseman tiers.
First guy, no surprise here, Evan Longoria. This guy just has the ability to fill it up across the board. He hasn't had many injuries in his career. Look for him to have another solid power totals and give you those stolen bases as well. Next, David Wright. Kind of a surprise last year that he was able to stay healthy and put up solid numbers across the board, and he will also give you some help in stolen bases. These guys are the clear 1-2s at third base this year.
Starting off tier 2, we have Zimmerman. I mean, he's batting over 300.
Over A-Rod.
Over A-Rod, that's right. And a little sneaky note on A-Rod coming up. But Zimmerman batting over 300 with 25 home runs out of your third baseman. What's not to love? A-Rod, other than his RBI total that went up last year, his numbers have really been on the decline for not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years. That's what we like to call a trend in the industry. So it might be going down again this year. We're a little worried about A-Rod. Of course, if you can snag him at great value, you're going to have to take him because, after all, he is on a very good lineup.
Heading into tier 3 at number 5, we got Jose Bautista. Obviously, with us having him this low, we're calling his 54 home runs and 124 RBIs a bit of a fluke. We think he will have decent power totals again, just don't expect a repeat this year. Moving down, we got Pedro Alvarez, one of my favorite sleepers. This guy's only about 24 years old. He had a great season last year as far as what he did with the amount of bats that he had. Look for him to have a great year. Moving down, ADRIAN BELTRE. He was on a contract year last year, and surprise, surprise, he blew up. He just got paid. Look for his numbers to come crashing back down. Do not overpay for BELTRE this year. And the last guy in this tier, Mark Reynolds. Get this, 32 home runs and only 99 hits last year. He batted 198. He's at a new home with the Orioles. Maybe that'll help get his average up, but you can almost guarantee that he'll hit about 30+ home runs.
Tier 4 starts out with Michael Young of the Rangers. That's who he's playing for right now. He is unhappy. If he does get traded wherever he is, even with the Rangers, he's going to bat for a pretty good average and get a ton of hits for you. At number 10, a big disappointment, the Kung Fu Panda. Sandoval wasn't that good last year, was overdrafted, but you got to remember what he did 2 seasons ago, so that potential is certainly there. And rounding out this tier is Ramirez of the Cubs. You know, he showed flashes of being the Ramirez of old, and he played pretty well last year, so he definitely could be a fantasy relevant player again.
Tier 5 starts out with Casey McGee. Great numbers last year, but I think they're a little inflated with his 610 at-bats, so don't totally believe the power numbers, but he could have another solid year. Moving down, we got Ian Stewart, 18 home runs and less than 400 at-bats. He's not going to bat for a great average, but you know that power is going to be there. And next, at 14 and 15, 2 youngsters with a ton of upside, Danny Valencia and Chris Johnson. Both these guys have the potential of batting with a decent amount of power, bat over 300, throwing a little bit of stolen bases. We like both of these guys as sleeper third baseman this year.
Tier 6 starts off with Chase Headley. You know, at one point last year, he was on a ridiculous hot streak, proving that he has the potential to be a very fantasy relevant player. Overall, though, his numbers really did flatten out. He was just simply average. David Freese, very similar story. Both of these guys, due to those hot streaks, shows that they do have the potential, however. Next on our list, at number 18, we have Jose Lopez. Career year in 09, really fell back down to earth in 10. He's here in the rankings because he could bounce back to those 09 numbers. And last is number 19, Wilson BETEMIT. You know, this guy was a hot prospect when he first came out. He's now 30 years old, but it can't be ignored what he did in about a half a season worth of bats last year. He was really productive. Probably won't be that productive, but definitely worth a late round flyer.
Tier 7 starts out with one of the youngest guys in these rankings and 3 of the oldest. First guy, Brent Morel. This youngster is penciled in as a starter right now. If he was locked in, we'd actually have him higher up on this list. But if he ends up starting, playing every day, this guy has a huge upside. And the last 3 guys in this tier, 3 old men, PLACIDO, POLANCO, Chipper Jones, Miguel Tejada. All these guys still have stuff to offer if they can stay healthy, but that's a big if at this point.
So there you have it. That's our third baseman tiers. You know, feel free to log in, get in our forums, post your teams. We love analyzing those things. And don't forget, March Madness, sign up. Everyone's vying for second place. Just like the college football pick'em.